CR101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
41. How to Live with Yourself. Part 7. Living in a Fairy Tale World. January the 5th, 1954. Good morning, friends. We're going to return today to our study of how to live with yourself. A sadly common feeling of many people is this: they keep trying to live in a fairy tale world. In fairy tales, the leading person, and that's always us, is pure and snow white. The troubles are never due to the hero or heroine, but to a wicked king or stepmother. But no matter what happens, in the end, everything works out, and they live happily ever after. Nowadays, fairy tales are modernized and streamlined, but still much of what we get in movies, stories, novels, radio plays, and the like are really fairy tales. We hate to turn from them to the real world, where things simply don't happen that way. We try to believe that our world is like the fairy tale and everything will work out to suit us, and we play along in that confidence. When I was a very small boy, I read a poem in a school book which appealed to me enormously for that reason. I still like it. Remember Edward Lear's? The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a £5 note. Life had no problems for them that would not work out in a marvellous way. They sang by the light of the moon and sailed away for a year and a day to find rare and exotic fulfillment. Life was a breeze for them, smooth sailing and a song and a dance. That's what makes it a fairy tale. You could change the characters from the owl and the pussycat to Clark Gable and Rita Hayworth, or any one of us, and it would still be very much a fairy tale. And this is the reason. In fairy tales, problems always work out. In real life, problems are chronic. Instead of working out, they move in to stay. In church work, for example, the ministers who look for churches that have no problems are usually the men who have the worst problems to contend with. For in real life, it is not problems that work out, but people. The problems of today are not much different from those of Egypt, Babylon, and Rome. Listen, for example, to these few scraps of street conversation from the Roman Empire. Listen to this war veteran gripe. These wounds are the return I get for trying to make democracy safe. Give us some more help. And listen to this parent upset by trends in education. When the pupils graduate, they're standing on their heads for all they know where they are. And the reason why such blank idiots graduate from our colleges is that life's only a set of lunatic syllogisms to them. Or listen to a consumer complaining because controlled food prices are favouring the producer only. The way the price of food's rising, it's getting worse and worse. I say lynch the commissioners. They're hand in glove with the bankers. Scratch my back and I scratch yours. And so the wretched public pays, while the jaws of the battering capitalists sound a champing carnival of gluttony. When I was a boy, for a copper you could buy a real loaf of bread. Oh, it's awful. Everything's got a cant towards destruction, and our town grows downward like a calf's tail. That comment got an answer from a rag and bag merchant who said, "Don't get so worked up about it. I hold there's nothing wrong with the country. It'd be a fine place if it wasn't for the people in it." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And yet all of that is Roman conversation, the same problems then as now. In real life, it is not problems that work out, but people. The fairy tale makes the world and its problems do the changing while we remain unchanged, and it is this that marks the fairy tale approach. In actuality, the world changes very little, and its problems remain, and they are basically the same. Thus, you and I face a double demand on us. On the one side, the world says, you might as well give in because I'm not doing the changing, you are. On the other side stands God Almighty, the unchanged and unchanging. It is you and I who must change, but in which direction? Too many people, when they realize that their problems remain and the world's won't give, follow the path of least resistance. They give in to the world, then their only hope in this frustrating defeat is to dream of a fairy tale world, read fairy tale books, and see fairy tale movies. It is the consolation of the defeated to make these things their steady diet. The path of victory is to give in, not to the world, but to the Lord. When a man or woman does that, then we can be confident of the outcome. Then, no matter what their problem or their situation, they have a power and a victory which overcomes the world. Don't look at the circumstances, they always spell defeat. Look at yourself or the person you are concerned about. What are they showing signs of giving into? The world or to God? If the surrender is to God, then remember this. There is nothing in this world that God cannot overcome, no matter what happens. He declares, I am the Lord, I change not, Malachi 3:6, and the psalmist observes, Of old thou hast laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure, yea, all of them shall wax old like a garment, as a vesture shalt thou change them, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, and thy years shall have no end. Psalm 102:25-27. And John said, For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. 1 John 5:4.